Good day, my students. Our lesson for today is about movement of plates and formation of folds and faults. Objectives. Number 1. Identify the 3 types of plate movements. Number 2. Expound 3 types of plate movement based on plate tectonics theory using an illustration. A German scientist named Alfred Wegener proposed the continental drift theory in the early 1900s. The land masses were once united into a single supercontinent named Pangaea. He said that Pangaea broke up long ago and that the continents then moved to the current positions. Wegener found that some continents seemed to fit together. The picture shows that Pangaea might have looked like approximately 200 million years old. Evidences for continental drift theory. Before the dinosaurs roamed the entire supercontinent. As Pangaea broke up, reptile populations become fragmented and isolated on new continents. Evidences of continental drift. The fossils of the seed fern Glossopteris were too heavy to be carried by the wind, so it cannot be distributed, passing through the ocean. Another evidence is the Mesosaurus was a reptile that could only swim in fresh water. The Cyanoognathus and Listosaurus were both land-dwelling reptiles. They are not able to swim. Magnetic polarity on different continents with rocks of the same age. The geologists noted the 400 million year old magnetite in Europe pointed to a different north magnetic pole than the same age magnetite in North America. Around 250 million years ago, the North Poles were also different for 2 continents. This is what is happening on the rocks. As molten rocks moves out of the ocean floor, the magnetite present in lava aligned parallel to the Earth's magnetic field. The result is a permanent record of the Earth's magnetic field while the rock cool to about 550 degrees Celsius. The movements are driven by the Earth's internal heat and convection. The continents drift when the molten rocks cool and affected by the current magnetic field direction of the Earth. And one of the reasons why the land masses move is through convection. The upwelling, represented by the red arrow, it's a process that happens when a buoyant, hot molten rocks moves to the ridge, and that is known as the divergent zone. And then The blue arrow, which is the downwelling process, occurred at the trench. The denser and cooler materials sink at the convergent zone or subduction zone. Tectonic plates move slowly over the Earth's surface and interact with each other. The earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountains are formed at the areas where the tectonic plates collide. The earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountains are formed at the areas where the tectonic plates collide. Then we move on to the types of tectonic plate movement. The types of tectonic plate movement. Number 1, divergent plate movement occurred when the tectonic plates move apart. Commonly present in the seafloor, called mid-ocean ridges. Magma rise up to fill the area between the plates that are moving apart. Example, Mid-Atlantic Ridge, located at the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. Number 2, convergent plate boundary. The heavier crust sinks below the less dense continental crust. The chain of volcanic islands are present in the subduction zone. The Philippine plate collide with the Pacific plate, commonly known as the Marianas Trench. Number 3, transform plate boundary. The plates slide past each other horizontally, usually known as the strike-slip-fault boundary. Example of this is San Andreas Fault that cuts through California, is about 1,300 kilometers long and tens of kilometers in width. New crust is continuously being formed at the mid-ocean ridge, and the old crust are being consumed at the trench. Thank you very much.